I have the honor of speaking with Amy Lasu, the captain of South Sudan women's national football team. Amy is not only a talented football player, but a leader within her own right, leading a generation of young women through sport, identity, and resilience. But behind that leadership is a quiet battle, one a few ever see. I wanted to understand what it really takes to lead when resources are scarce, safety is uncertain, and the world isn't watching. So I asked her, what are the challenges they face?
As a team, we face so many challenges. One is the poor infrastructure.
Yeah,
There's we don't have a good field in South Sudan. Currently, we just have the main stadium, the national stadium, and we have another training ground which has an artificial turf, but it's not always like available because most of the times the men's teams are either training there or they play the leagues there, and you find it's all the divisions playing there, like first division or second division, and it becomes really hard for the women's team to access the field. But usually we get access to it maybe when the national team is training. When we
wow.
have a competition coming up, we have access to the field. And also when there's the women's competitions, maybe like the South Sudan Cup or the Women's
Yeah,
League, that's when the teams, like the women's teams, get access to play there. But for trainings, it's very hard. It's hard to get a chance to play there. So the girls are forced to train in other bad fields which are dusty, and some of them even have uh, like bumps. Some of them have small stones. So
yeah,
it's quite it's quite hard for the girls to to try to improve or to get better in such a condition. So that's one challenge. Another challenge would be um, menstrual health management.
yeah,
That is a very big challenge in the women's team.
yeah,
Getting access to sanitary towels for some of the girls, it's a bit difficult because maybe some cannot afford to find this sanitary towels, and also in the different fields, we don't have like changing rooms. So the girls are forced when they come for training, they're forced to just change just out in the open.
so safety
And
is a
then,
whole element of it.
yeah, exactly. So imagine if a girl is on her period, maybe, I mean, it's
Mm,
quite difficult, and it's quite embarrassing to change in front of people.
of
And
course.
maybe yeah, there's maybe men around, so it's difficult for them. And also after training, you don't have anywhere where you can like clean yourself or or change or whatever.
Mm,
So you have to wait until you get home for you to be
mm,
able to clean yourself. And some of the players maybe have maybe classes after training. So you can imagine if that player is not able to go back home and they're supposed to go to school. So what are they supposed to do? So it's quite challenging to be able to play. Like there's no safe space for the players to be able to take care of their bodies, before they go for training or after. So it's a big challenge for us. And also when you talk about training equipment, we have training equipment, but these are things we have to share with the men's team.
yeah.
Like we don't have our own training equipment like that is only for the women's team. Sometimes you find the men's team are using it. Sometimes you have to borrow some things from them. So there's not really equipment that is just for the women's team. So yeah, it's difficult.
Are these type of the conversation that you're bringing on to the federation team, and how are they reacting to this type of conversation that we're having right now?
I think they would see it as a threat,
Mm,
honestly, because
yeah,
they don't really like when such things are aired out
yeah,
in the open. So I think that like when even when we try to, to complain about such things, not
yeah.
much is done about it, So like
That-
we have a women's committee in the federation,
yeah,
but I, I don't really feel like they advocate for us enough because this is something that keeps occurring over
yeah.
and over. So it's quite difficult to deal with all this.
How has the ongoing situation in South Sudan, as we both know, the current conflict that is taking place right now, how has that affect the team and the growth and the sustainability of the women team in South Sudan?
Um, Obviously, it's affecting the team or the teams in one way or another because
Yeah,
everyone is living in fear of what might happen next,
yeah,
because we don't know what is gonna happen, but there's just a lot of tension.
yeah,
So, I mean, everyone is just thinking about, well, am I safe if I go out? Am I safe,
yeah,
And also it's affecting everyone economically. Like
yeah.
they're very expensive now. Even
Well,
to afford things like sanitary pads now is a problem. And also like maybe transport money when you're
yeah.
leaving the house to go for training or to go for matches or whatever, transport is also becoming a problem. So definitely affecting the players or the team.
We hear that South Sudan has a national women team. We all hope that they can be very successful and then that they could actually excel and succeed in the way that we see women playing football in global platform. But where do you see the global South Sudanese diaspora communities supporting women football, in particular in South Sudan? What can be done? What could people like me or other people that want to support do in this instance?
I would say help to advocate more
Yeah,
for the women in football in South Sudan because we still have these stereotypes that,
yeah,
girls are not supposed to play football. We still have a lot of communities that don't think that women is supposed to play football.
yeah,
And maybe they think that the girls who play football are spoiled or,
yeah,
you know, maybe they want to become men or something like that.
yeah. I
But
think that's definitely what they're afraid for.
yeah, or they feel maybe they will not get married.
Yeah,
So yeah, so for me, I think that people like you who have a voice, who have a lot of influence, can help to bring the spotlight of women's football in South Sudan. Just try and help to change the narrative of
yeah,
football being for men only.
yeah,
I think that is something that is very important because sports, football or just sports in general is
yeah.
something that can bring a difference. And we know how people in South Sudan love sports.
Oh,
You
yeah,
see how sports unites people. You see how when the men's basketball team is playing and how it brings the South Sudanese together. I think we can also do that in football. So, you know,
yeah,
I think it would be a great thing to have that, and it will unite a lot of people. It will even bring peace to the country. So, yeah.
yeah. Do you think, and it's so interesting that you've actually just touched base on the basketball team as well. Do you think, and I saw that the South Sudan has the women basketball team. Are they facing the same problem in terms of infrastructure, the safety, the resources that we're talking about? Or does one sport have more ability because of the popularity?
I think okay, I don't want to say they're not facing challenges,
Yeah,
but compared to us, I think they're doing a bit better. And
yeah,
also they are fortunate enough to have uh, a president who understands the
yeah,
challenges and who has been a player as well. So he knows what the players need.
correct.
So I feel like he's providing a like a platform for them, to
Yeah.
be able to become better, to do better for their country. So yeah, I think they're having it better than us.
Definitely, and I agree with you when you said, they have someone who's already an advocate who understand the challenges and who probably want to structure and point them in the right way. And it is so important when we talk about the support of women football, you have to have someone who understand their long vision and who can provide them the necessity to do better. Because if you don't have it, it's impossible for you to achieve it or for the team to achieve that as well. So I hope that, this is the beginning and this is the platform that you're right. We do need to share some light into the women football in South Sudan, and we need to be advocate for them because you've said earlier before, some women might be scared because they don't have the voice, they don't have the platform. They don't want to be taken out of the team just because they are speaking up. Although that is something that need to change too, because they need to be empowered to advocate for themselves. But I do understand those limitations often. How about you? How are you confident to put your name out? Do you feel there's a fee as well for you, or are you the type of person to say if there's a problem, I'm going to talk about it because you're the captain?
Well, I used to be scared
Yeah,
at some point, but I thought to myself, if I'm scared and some of these players are looking up to me, so what am I doing,
yeah,
And I'm supposed to be their leader. So
right.
I think it's hard to, it's time that I start speaking up
Yeah,
for them and for the future generations to come. So for me, it's not really about being in the national team, but I want to be remembered for someone who at least made a difference and
yeah,
gave the girls an opportunity, to be able to speak for themselves and
yeah.
represent their country, and I want them to be able to fight for their rights. Yeah.
If you could make one call to action, what would it be?
Um, it would be to just give more opportunities to young girls,
Yeah,
um, especially in sports. We see that it's till now the men are still dominating in almost every sector. So
yeah,
for me, just to give opportunities to the women, give them leadership roles,
yeah,
you know, involve them in decision making, help give them platforms where they can give ideas, where they can give solutions to problems.
yeah.
Yeah, that would be my call to them.
You have a lot of work to do ahead of your years. So I want to say that you're doing great, and I have no doubt you are going to open the doors and make a lot of change. And it's hard, but I think you can do it. And I'm definitely going to use my platform to continue to have this conversation with you and look at on how I can promote the women football in South Sudan and share a bit of light on them as well.
Thank you so much.
Thank you so much.